Today we're going to be installing Talon grips on my new Glock 45 9mm pistol. It has been one of my favorite modifications to my Glock 19 Gen 4. These particular Talon grips were installed maybe 10 years ago. First, let's do a safety check. Can't really see that due to the light, but there is nothing in the barrel. There's nothing down there, so we are good. I'm gonna put this to the side. And then this particular gun, nothing down the barrel, nothing. It's 100% safety checked. And so this is my new Glock 45. For those that don't know, the Glock 45 is essentially the same thing as the Glock 19. And so you can see here, the slide itself is almost the exact same. You can see here, the Glock 19 slide is basically the same size. But what is different, if you can take a look, is that the grip is a grip of a Glock 17. And so for this particular gun, this is my nightstand gun. I love this grip because I get a full-size grip on the Glock 45, but because there's less metal up here, the recoil is way less than a Glock 17. You basically get a recoil of a 19, but the grip of a 17. And so, I mean, I just feel absolutely glued to this gun, especially with the red dot. I got the MOS version. With the red dot, I am just drilling it in. So to me, this is my nightstand gun. And so today, I love the granulated Talon grips. It's one of my favorite modifications. Like I said, it was on my old Glock 19 Gen 4, and it's been on there for 10 plus years. I mean, I've put maybe thousands of rounds into this gun. And as you can see, the backing is the only part that got removed, and that's simply because I cut it off. But this part, I mean, I installed this 10 plus years ago, and I've put thousands of rounds into this gun, and it's still there. It hasn't moved at all, and I just feel absolutely locked into this gun. So I'm a huge fan of this gun, and even bigger fan of the Talon grips. So let's get into it. So in order to install the Talon grips, it kind of comes in this particular package. Let's put this to the side. So it comes in this package. You basically get it from the mail. And if you take a look inside, by the way, apologies for the Band-Aid. I cut myself on my knife a little earlier today. So just trying to avoid bleeding all over screen. So it comes with these instructions. We'll kind of go through those today, and we'll walk you through how to do it. And inside it comes with alcohol wipes, which is what you want to use to clean, and a sticker. Stick to your guns. I like it. Very cool. So first thing you want to do, kind of want to follow these steps. Number one, field strip your gun. You want to be always 100% safe. And so we're going to field strip the gun real quick. We'll do that real quick. Double checking. All right, so the gun is field stripped. You want to be 100% safe. So I'm going to put this to the side. So now we have an inert bottom, 100% safe, and so we can focus on the next step, which is cleaning. So, Talon grips is nice enough to include a 70% isopropyl alcohol wipe to help clean the gun. I've already put this gun through a few hundred rounds, zero issues, but want to make sure that there is no oils or gunpowder on the grip itself. And I went into my med kit and pulled out a couple more alcohol wipes, because you can never be too clean when it comes to this stuff. You want to make sure that this stuff is 100% clean, and there's no oils or residues hurting the adhesion of the grip to the gun. So really get it in there, really give it a thorough cleaning. Just make sure you don't get any of the alcohol up top near the slide. You don't want to drain any of the oils, the natural oils that keep the gun from. Now you want to make sure you don't over rub it, because you don't want to have these like white paper particles on the gun. So you want to make sure it's super dry and removed of any lint. You want to make sure that you're not having the lint of the alcohol wipes rubbing off. I'm gonna give this one extra wipe with this. So just making sure that this is super clean and that we are not putting this on any oils. All right. Give that a second to dry, and then we will get to the next step. Okay, it's still drying a little bit. Okay, so the next step is starting with the left side of the gun. What we want to do is peel off the backing. Let me just do that real quick. Apologies, this is really sticky. There we go. So, got this off. So what you want to do, I like to just peel to the first section. And the reason being is you kind of don't want to have the middle section get caught up before you get this section stuck to. And so the great thing about this is because it's got a cutout, you want that cutout to be aligned with the Glock logo. And so I kind of like to start there. You want to really be careful making sure that the magazine release doesn't have any of the stick. So that's the key, is you want to focus on the Glock logo and the magazine release, is making sure that that's lined up. You also want to look at the bottom and make sure that the bottom of, and you can lift this up and move it accordingly. You want to make sure that the bottom is lined up and really, really straight. So those are the three areas you really want to focus on, is the magazine release, the Glock logo, and the bottom. Making sure that that's all lined up. So this looks pretty good. Now, when you stick this down, stick it super light. It's already very tacky. And the reason being is you actually at the end want to lift up and tuck the excess underneath, and that's going to really lock this in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the next section, and we're going to remove the stickiness from, oh man, they really want to make this difficult, huh? All these cutouts. All right, so now you have the next section taken care of. Pinch that back, make sure nothing's moved, and then slowly wrap it around. Don't worry about pressing too hard. You're just sort of test fitting this right now. Just giving it nice little taps. Make sure that everything looks good. We're going to come back and really seal this in later. Now we're going to get the last bit removed. All right, so now we're 100% removed. I want to make sure that this is once again not hitting the slide release. This is looking like it's lined up pretty well. Just give it nice taps. No need to over press this down yet until, and this is the magic, until you get the tuck. And the tuck is the key. Now here's the most important part. You really want to get this wrapped around the finger grooves, because this is really where a lot of the squeezing happens. You want to make sure that this part, more than anything, is locked in. And now this is where you can get that lined up. this down. As you can see here, I actually have a little bit of that. It looks like it started to travel on me. So you can see that actually there's a little bit of a lip here, which I'm not too happy about. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna lift up and bring this back and try to tuck this up a little higher. See if that works. Just be really mindful of this mag well. Let's see, could I get this just a little bit? See, now I want too high. So now it's hitting the mag well. Third time's the charm. Let's go right in between. Still too tight. I kind of want to bring this down a little bit more. There we go. There we go. I'm happy with this. This is a good fit. Good seal. There we go. Okay. Double check everything around. Doesn't look like there's anything touching. Give the magazine release a couple squeezes. Slide lock looks clean. Man, this is already feeling so sticky. All right, so now we're gonna get to the most important part, which is let's squeeze everything in, really lock it in, give it all those little areas, make sure that they're pressed tight. There's not a lot of movement. You really want to get this into all the nooks and crannies. Like there's a lot of, you can see like little swells in the Glock frame. They've done a really good job with the Gen 5s in terms of ergonomics. I've really, really liked the Gen 5. It's like, they've improved on Glock perfection. They really have. Which is not an easy feat. In the MOS version, man, if you've never shot a red dot, makes it so easy to really make tight groupings. Those little micro adjustments when you haven't even a really good sight. It's like those millimeters result in inches. So just having a single red dot, oh man, this is already feeling so good. I mean, you literally could not pull this out of my hand if you tried. This is just, I mean, just absolutely locked in. What's great is like for follow-up shots and multiple shots, I mean, the speed on your shooting is just gonna go way up with the Talon grips. And what I like about it is that it doesn't damage the frame. I know people like stipple jobs and I've had them done before, and I know you could always replace the bottom, but to me, the fact that this is temporary, I could always remove it, get a brand new one with brand new granulation. I don't know, I'm just a big fan of nothing too fancy. I'm trying to keep my guns, these are tools, you know? I'm not trying to get too fancy with my tools. Just want them to work. All right, so the next step is actually using either a heat gun or your wife's hair dryer, which is what I have, to make sure that the gun itself, that the heat is actually locked in. So let me just turn the blow dryer on. I'm putting this on high heat. And now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna heat it up. Put a little bit of heat on it. And then use that heat. The heat's gonna warm up the glue, and use that heat to really make sure that everything is nice and tight. I'm probably gonna do this a couple times. Let's give it another hit. You really want to hit those seams, particularly that overlap, making sure that that is locked in. Get the back, really squeeze that in. I mean, this is already, you can just feel it even getting sucked into the existing stippling. I mean, this is really, you want to put a lot of emphasis back here because all of these separate sections, they kind of flex and move in their own ways. So really make sure that you're getting the edges, because knowing from experience that this back section was actually the area that moved the most. This is the area you squeeze the most. So really make sure you focus on this back strap area, because this area, if this isn't locked in, the whole build is going to be compromised. So really make sure you focus here, because this is where a lot of the movement happens. So really hit that hard and make sure that that's really locked in. It's getting hot. I tell you, you do not need a heat gun. That blow dryer gets hot. This is really all you need. So really focus on the back strap and where the two meet. So that seam, man, you can't even see it anymore. Look at that, it's like become one. Can you even see that? I mean, you can kind of see it, but it is tight. Man, Talon Grips, they do a great job, let me tell you. CEO, Talon Grips, man. Hats off to you. You guys do a great job. Continue to give them test fits. Whew, man, let me tell you, this is good. This is good. Can't wait to take this to the range. Continue to give the magazine release test fits. Now, the last component, make sure you hit the edges. Get the edges all around. So start with the left. Let's do the left first. Really lock those in. You want to make sure all of the edges are clean and tight, because that's where it's going to lift. You also want to hit that seam again. Let's do the back strap one more time. You can never do the back strap enough. I'm telling you, this back strap is the hardest part. It's the part that's going to get the most friction and the most movement. So if you can get the back strap locked in, you are solid. last part is the right side. Really get those edges. Don't let anything lift. I think we are good. This feels like it's ready to go for the next 10 years. Let me tell you. You are good to go for the next 10 years. Put the slide back on. Oh boy. Let me tell you, this gun is now an absolute blaster. I am telling you, woo! I have never had a more solid grip. I mean, this paired with a Glock 45, the fact that I get a full-size grip on a 19 frame, I mean, you want to talk about the best bedside gun. I'll do another video just on the Glock 45 itself, but the fact that I get, I mean, this is just, I'm telling you. So what you want to do, give this 24 hours to cool, really set in. Don't take it right to the range. You really want to let this glue cool down. Like right now, the gun is super hot. You can still feel all the heat all around it. So you want to make sure that this gun has enough time to cool down and enjoy itself and really settle in. In the meantime, what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually probably work on upgrading, changing out these slides or these sights to be suppressor height. So the problem that you have with the red dot is, you can see here, you actually don't get a good sight picture. Let me see if I can. You don't get a good sight picture. It actually blocks the sight picture. So I'm gonna put in suppressor height sights, and that is going to complete this build. It's gonna have the TLR1, it's an awesome light, and the suppressor height sights, as well as the Viper red dot. I mean, this is the ultimate bedside gun. So hope you all enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was helpful. To me, I think I'm a big fan of the Talon grips and highly recommend everyone scoop it up. So y'all enjoy.